Together with me in the European Parliament in Brussels is Emma Wiesner. Thank you so much for your presence.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
We will discuss about Fit for 55 because we know it's a very ambitious plan, but somehow in the plenary last week it was a huge stop. Let's explain to our viewers why is happening this.
We didn't manage to build as a strong majority as needed to secure a package that could be tolerable both to the left side of the parliament and to the right side. So basically all of the proposals that we had was supported by one or another, and at the end we couldn't agree on the outcome. So in one way we have to redo, rethink, go back to the drawing table and present something new next week.
Let's explain what is actually the scope of this huge package, Fit for 55.
Well, I mean, first of all, I'm very proud of the package because it is an ambitious climate package. I mean, we haven't had as high concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere in 4 million years. So this is really the time to act upon climate change. And this package is a response to the Paris Agreement. When Europe signed the Paris Agreement that we need to stay below 1.5 degrees, one reaction to that was, okay, now we have to update our climate goals because the European climate goals would not manage to take us to the 1.5. So it's a consequence of going into the international agreement in Paris, updating the climate goal, and hence we need to update all of the climate regulations that takes us to the goal. So the first step was to update the European climate targets from 45% to 55%, and then if you set a new goal, you need to start do something differently. All the climate regulations needs to come with it. So we update the emission trading scheme, the carbon border adjustment mechanism, rules on bioenergy, on energy efficiency, on renewable energy. All of these regulations that one way or another contributes to the climate targets. And that's why it's called Fit for 55, making us, Europe and the Europeans, fit for making it to the 55% target, and hence the Paris Agreement. So it's really just a consequence of ambitious climate agenda on international level. And it's a big package, and that's why I'm so proud of it. Many parts.
A lot of changes will happen in each member state. Let's explain to our viewers what should Sweden do, what should Romania do in order to fit for 55.
Of course it differs, and every member states have the different challenges. I'm Swedish, so for us bioenergy, for example, it's a hot topic. We have a lot of forestry, and the different challenges varies among the member states. So what's good with this package is that it is ambition level set on European level. It's what we can do jointly, because when we act together, we are more strong, we are more efficient, more cost efficient, and all our enterprises faces the same challenge. So all the companies through Europe, all the households through Europe faces the same challenge. And that makes us stronger, that pushes down costs on new green technology. It helps us all to push investments in renewables, in research, in innovation jointly. So it's not an easy answer to that. All the member states have their different challenges, but it is when we act together like this in one package, we become more efficient and more stronger. So for example, I mean, the piece that I worked on is the emission trading scheme. So international science, environmental economics does absolutely agree. I mean, it points at one direction. We need to put a price on carbon. That's the way to make tackling climate change cost efficient. If we put a price on carbon, if industry is polluting, and if everyone who is polluting pays a price for that, all the other solutions become more cost efficient. And that could be done every member state by member state, but then it wouldn't be as efficient. So we have a joint European emission trading scheme. That's when we can really have cost effectiveness and really have a level playing field among the member states. So that's, of course, the one I'm most proud of since I've been working on it. But that was also one of the key elements why the package failed last week.
Yeah, exactly. But in the end, a lot of money will be put in this program. Does the European Union has those money, enough money in order to have the Fit for 55 implemented?
But the science is clear here that if we don't act now, it will only become much more expensive later on, and we have to pay the price sooner or later. And I mean, I'm one of the youngest members of this house, and I'm so frustrated by people telling me that we have to act on climate change for our future generations, for our children. That's the most rational, that's the most common argument I hear all the time. We need to act in order to take care of our children. Well, I'm 29, which means that I will retire 2060, something like that, depending on how old I get. I will retire 2060. So when our climate targets are to be met 2050, I will still be working. I'm still in working age then. So this is no longer about future generation. This is no longer about our children. This is about my generation acting here and now and not pushing the costs or the problems aside, pushing it for the future. I think we need to take responsibility here and now. And it will cost. I mean, we will change society, the energy system, it has to cost, but if we do it now, it will cost much less. And it will also be a competitiveness for Europe. I mean, green steel, new energy technologies, all of these investments and all of these innovations that we can do in Europe, where we can be leading, that then can set a global example, that will strengthen our business, that will strengthen the European business case. So, I mean, batteries, renewable energies, new type of products. If we have a price on carbon, all of these new innovations will come. I'm a technology optimist in that sense. I'm an energy engineer, so I mean, I believe in technology in a way, but I really think that if we do our homework now, it can really become a business case, a green business case for Europe.
Let's be honest. Is it already too late for acting in this area?
No. I'm often listening to scientists, and I mean, the later we act, the more we need to do, but there's still time.
It's time for us, it's time for our children, it's time for the next generation also, as you mentioned, as you've already heard a lot of times here in the European Parliament. Is it too ambitious, this plan? Is it too ambitious as compared to the strength that the European Union has, or how motivated it is?
I would say one of the reasons why we didn't succeed last week was it was too little ambitious. And a lot of voices in this house was raised to raise the ambition level. So I think we need actually strengthen the package, and we now need to sit down from left to right and agree on something that can be a strong agreement. Because the problem with the weak package is that it will be up for doubt and it will be questioned. But now we need to show political willingness from across the spectrum, from left to right, and agree on an ambition level that it's enough, that we can agree on here. But then we have to remember that we in the Parliament, it's not only us deciding, it's also the European Council. So what we present in this House needs to be ambitious, it needs to be in the forefront, because we are the voice of the people, the ones directly elected. So we need to show that we have the strength and that the people want to change, so that when we sit down at the negotiation table with the Commission and they want to slow down and drag down ambitions, we push them in the other direction. And in that way, we get a balanced package.
What do the Swedish politicians say about this Fit for 55 package?
I think a lot of Swedes at the moment see this new industrialization that I'm talking about, that we have so many new industries building in the north of Sweden, an area that was losing competitiveness. People were moving away from the rural areas, from the countryside up in the north, but also the cities in the north. People were moving down south. But now there's a re-industrialization. We see new technologies, we see batteries, green steel, fossil-free steel, new innovation that all of a sudden makes this attractive for jobs, for green growth, and see the business case. So I think a lot of Swedes also asked for this and really see when the policy is clear and when the policy makers have put the foot down, what industry can achieve and all the possibilities coming with it. But as long as we here are unclear, as last week when the package failed and we're doubting and there's some discussions, that will not give action and strength to our businesses. that is needed. So from a Swedish perspective, I would say that this package is longed for and it's long wanted. We want EU to work more together, but of course everything is not rainbows and candies from our end. We have our issues with the package as well, and I think each member state have different conditions and different starting points. So for us, bioenergy, for example, is something that we will debate heavily in this house, etc.
In the end of our discussion, what is your message for those who are watching you right now?
Oh, that's a good one. That I'm willing to do the job, and we need to do it here and now. This is about my generation, our generation. We can no longer push it on to the next generations and tell them to act. We need to do it here and now, and this is what we're doing in this house as we speak. This week, a lot is changing, and all of these young, frustrated people out there, we are doing this. I am a politician. I'm here and we are pushing the green agenda. It's actually happening because I know a lot of people out there are also frustrated, demonstrating that politicians are not doing enough. Well, now it's actually happening and we're starting finally to walk the talk.
Thank you so much for being with me today.
Thanks.
Celor de acasă vă spun să rămâneți pe Antena 3. Nu uitați că ne revedem și sâmbătă viitoare la 9:30. Cu bine și sănătoși să fim!